Hey everyone, welcome to the Streampreneurs Podcast, episode number 2. Let's go. So welcome to the Streampreneurs Podcast, episode number 2. I'm your host, Jeffrey Harden, and I have a special guest today who goes by the name of TheSammyB. And you know, one of the things that I really like the most about this guy is how he engages and interacts with his chat. I met him about a month ago, and one of the things that stood out to me the most is whenever I enter his chat, he always opens up with welcome arms. He always asks how I'm doing, how my day went. And for me, it helps me, I guess, create like I say a type of friendship with that type of person. It makes you feel, welcome in a sense. And so he's here with me today. Sammy, you there?
Yep, I am here. How is it going?
Hey man, I just want to say thank you again for joining me in my podcast today. I'm super excited because you're the first person I get to interview in my podcast, so that's definitely like a huge milestone for me. I get to like hang up a plaque on my wall, like my first podcast. So thank you again for joining me.
Of course, I'm honestly very honored to be a part of this and just have this opportunity, and to also get to talk about kind of what's been going on with my stream and just Twitch in general, and how everything kind of has come together in a way that's just been a really positive experience for me overall. So I'm really, really honored to be a part of this podcast, and honored to talk to you as well.
I appreciate it, man. I feel like the people that's listening, they in for a real good treat because they get to hear you and find out more about you. And I hope that in the future this becomes very beneficial for you. For you and your channel. So let's get right into it. So, as a person who loves video games, one of the things that got me wanting to stream games on Twitch was the fact that you can build a community around your channel and interact with people. So, what was it that got you into streaming and gaming?
So I've always been into gaming. Ever since I was a young kid, I was into gaming. My parents, they bought me video games all the time. Like basically ever since I can remember, I was playing video games. I was playing Pokemon, I was playing Mario games. Definitely a Nintendo boy. I was definitely playing Nintendo games growing up. But what got me into gaming was just, I guess I was like almost born into it. My brother played video games, so I played video games. I have an older brother.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, older than me, so he kind of led the trend, I guess. But in terms of streaming, I discovered streaming actually when I was in high school. So probably I'd say almost about 4 or 5 years ago now. Discovered it for the first time, and I watched some Call of Duty zombie streams. I think it was Next Gen Tactics was the channel that I used to watch. And once I saw that there was like streams for that, I like explored options there were streams for, and I stumbled upon GDQ events and things like that, and I watched speed runs of some of my favorite games, and I was like, holy crap, this is so cool. I have to do this. And I found constant streamers, like regular streamers that were streaming games that I wanted to play, such as Fire Dragon 764, who I think goes by Fire Dragon now, or Fi-Fi.
Yep.
He was one of the first streamers I ever watched. Also Raise Fire, who streamed Super Mario Sunshine. Like those two were very, very defining streamers for me. They kind of the speed running. They paved the way for me to whole new light and see kind of how to interact with the community. I would definitely say that the way that I interact with my community and my mentality and my perspective towards streaming was heavily defined by those two streamers in particular.
That's actually really interesting because for everything that you say, I mean, I could definitely relate to you very well, especially since, you say you're a Nintendo boy. So, and, like, even me, like, one of the first, consoles that I was raised up with was the NES and, the Sega Genesis. So Mario and Sonic was like the biggest games that I played the most. And I also had an older brother, and I have to say that when I was playing video games, I always watched him play. So I feel like if it wasn't for my older brother, I wouldn't have known how to play most of these games that I know now, because he would play Pokemon Blue. I had Pokemon Red. He would play all these other Mario games that I learned how to play. It was interesting. And then you also said that you discovered Twitch about 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And like same for me. It was about, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, and one of the first games I saw was I believe it was either Super Mario RPG or Mega Man X. And then afterwards I came across Fi-Fi as well, who played Luigi Mansion, which was his main game. So,
absolutely. Yep.
So it's real interesting how, like, your situation, mine, is real similar in a way as well.
Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have kind of pioneered like speedrunning and just streaming in general, and like it's definitely not uncommon for a lot of people to have overlap with streamers that they've watched. Like I, of course, found Twitch like not through speedrunning, but like I found speedrunning through Twitch, if that makes sense. And like that's just kind of like, I feel like a lot of people story with that, like they'll come to Twitch, or they'll find Twitch for whatever reason, and then they'll see something on there that they like, whether it is speedrunning or whether it is, casual games or let's play kind of things. They'll kind of find what it is that they like, and then all of a sudden find streamers that are streaming games that they like to see, that they, like to play, and it's just an incredible experience overall.
Yeah, I agree, because when I came across Twitch, well, I knew about speed running, but the thing is, like, I only saw it on YouTube, and I didn't know that people actually did it live. So when I came across Twitch, I was like, what are they doing? What's this this whole number on the side that's counting? Like, what's going on here? And then I realized, like, oh, they speed running, and then I think that's what just just started like a whole new thing for me. It was just, I don't know, it was just crazy. And I don't know, it's just really cool. That's that's the best way I can really put it.
Absolutely, it is very cool. It's crazy because there's a whole community, like a sub community. Well, there are tons of sub communities within Twitch, but for speedrunning in particular, there's a huge sub community, and then there's like a million different sub communities of that sub community. It's kind of just like a tree that branches out, and there are all these different things, but they're all centralized around this one idea of playing games faster than anybody ever has.
Right. And
how that builds just a whole network of people that all have a similar interest and a similar passion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and man, it's crazy how, like, the people that we watched, they branched out to us now. So now we're trying to speedrun games and get better, or try to get possibly get world record one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
So what game are you currently speedrunning right now?
The speedrun right now is Luigi's Mansion. It's the only speed game that I actually do speedrun, at least at the time of this podcast. But it's one of my favorites. Like, there are other games that I've like looked into a little bit, and I've actually been asking my stream the last couple of days to give me some recommendations, because there are more speed games I want to pick up, but I'm definitely willing to hear out my stream. My stream plays a big vital role in what games like I play and what I do. So their opinion's obviously very important, and I want to hear from them and hear if there's anything that they really want to see, or that they want me to play, or if they think that I would maybe like, that kind of thing. But currently Luigi's Mansion is the only game that I do run.
Yeah, so for those who may not know what Luigi Mansion is, hopefully most people should know, but it's a game that came out for the GameCube in 2001, and just saying that, I feel so old now. But
me too. And I'm not even that old, and that's what's scary.
Yeah, like I just turned 25 this November 8th. But knowing that this game is 16 years old now, it's still amazing how good the graphics look on this game.
Absolutely.
And so, just for those who are not familiar with Luigi Mansion, it's a game where you play as Luigi and you're stuck in this mansion, and you have to basically use a vacuum to suck up ghosts and make your way to find Mario because he was kidnapped by King Boo. And so knowing that you speed run Luigi Mansion, how long did it actually take you to learn it?
So it's actually interesting because I wanted to speedrun for a very long time before I actually started speedrunning, like officially, and streaming and that kind of thing. So back in 2016, while I was while it was the summer after I'd finished a semester of college, like I think it was it like the end of May, I decided that I wanted to learn Luigi's Mansion because I'd been watching, streamers like Fi and Race Fire for some time. And I was like, I really think I can do this. I think like I would like to do this. I'm always looking for an extra level of depth to a game. And what a better way, or what not a better way than to speedrun it. So I went and I learned the game. And I really liked it. I thought it was cool. I was very bad. And I learned the basics of the game. I learned what the old route was at the time because the route's different now than it was when I originally learned it. And I did runs for like a couple of weeks, and then I just got too distracted with summer. I worked. I then went back to school and just didn't have time to play. It was really a for me because I was like, well, what do I do? And the thing that I did was I essentially just kind of like retired the idea and kind of pushed it to the back of my head. And then the summer of 2017 came around and I was not going back to school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, what not a better idea than to actually pick it back up and get back into it, because it's something that I always wanted to do. And kind of the idea of streaming and me wanting to share the game with others was a big motivator for me, because I thought about streaming back when I had first learned it. And I actually did do like insider information here. I did do one offline stream, or not offline stream, but like one like just completely game audio, game feed, like no cam, no mic, nothing, like just like kind of basic stream on a different channel actually that I no longer have.
And was this on Twitch as well?
Yeah, this was on Twitch. This was I want to say, like I said, back in like May of 2016. It was on a channel that I had made, again, like retired basically as well. Like I don't use that channel. When I decided to stream on Twitch, I made a new channel just entirely, because I'm pretty sure that on that other channel, like information wasn't correct anyway. So, because it was like an original Twitch account, like I'll start fresh. But yeah, I essentially decided to pick the game back up in July or so, and then by August, after doing a little bit of practice and just learning the new route and that kind of thing, I decided to start streaming, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, and it's real interesting because I'm starting to notice that like you said, that you went to school, and it's the same situation for me, because I went to school and I've eventually got my associate's degree, but it's just like over time, just like, man, like it's like I want to go back to school, but at the same time, I want to do this. I want to see where streaming goes. I want to see if I could actually, do this part, something that I actually enjoy doing. Because you look at other streamers on Twitch, and it's like, man, like you really like how they interact with their chat. You like how people interact with them. Like I watch you, and I can say that you're a motivator, because like, man, he's actually trying to do something. He's trying to build his followers, trying to build his stream, and you have a really good personality. And I could tell like people in your community really enjoys coming to your stream and watching you. And
yeah,
so,
I appreciate that. That's really nice of you to say.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. It's just I could definitely just relate, where you're coming from. I mean, it wasn't until I'd say just this year where I really wanted to start it streaming as well. But like, then the podcast came into mind. I was like, oh, okay, let me do this first, see where this goes, and then see if I could get streaming down later on, and see where that goes as well.
Yeah.
But so going back to Luigi Mansion and speedrunning. So like with me, the game that I'm trying to learn right now is Super Mario RPG, and that game is solely dependent on movement and RNG. Which
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's which I consider is the biggest roadblock for me, or one of the most challenging things. So, what's the biggest? I say that what's the biggest disadvantage for you when it comes to Luigi Mansion so far?
That's actually a little bit of a tough question. I mean, personally, like the mentality that I have going into my streams in general, and then especially going into speedrunning, is to not necessarily focus on a specific issue that I have. I kind of just go in saying, I can do anything, I can achieve anything with my community behind my back, and with, me believing in myself, I can kind of achieve anything. But if I had to pinpoint one thing that I would say I struggle with speedrunning in general, and just with Luigi's Mansion, is the consistency.
Yeah.
There are definitely certain parts of the game that I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be in, and that just greatly affects the run. My time has gotten down to a point where when I make small mistakes, it has and whether or not I can get a better time than I currently have. My time right now is a 103.10, and for anybody who might not know, the world record for the game is a 56:30 something by a runner called Snap, or named Snap, not called. But
Oh wow.
anyway, the world record is obviously still quite a few minutes away from me, but my time is in the top 50 on the leaderboard for the category that I run. So
Nice.
a lot of variety between my time and Snap's time. There's really not a lot of leeway when you make mistakes. Like, it's just optimizing your movement even more and getting good RNG. And there are a lot of just that add up to big time save. But I would definitely say for me, like the biggest thing for me, and how much I can consistently complete different areas of the game and how well I complete those areas, because I have plenty of runs. Like right now I'm on the grind for the 102 time, and I need to save 11 seconds, which theoretically doesn't seem like it would be that much.
But,
Consistency aspect of it is really, really rough.
So
At least 10 runs that are 102 pace that I could not get because I was inconsistent in different areas of the game.
yeah, and you said the world record is, you said 56 minutes?
Yeah, 56 minutes and 30 something seconds. I actually do not remember the exact number, which is probably bad because I do actively run this game and play this game like every day of my life, and I don't know the exact number, but it's just because the world record changed not too long ago, because it used to be a 56:51 time, down by like another 20 seconds, and I don't remember what it is, because to be honest, like this is something just about me, like I don't really look at the leaderboard that often because that's not necessarily thing to me. Like a big thing with streaming for me is to make sure that my community is having the best possible time that they can have, and that it's a positive environment, and an environment where people can have fun and feel safe, get a chance to get to know me and get to know other people, but also that the stream isn't necessarily a place where I'm kind of comparing myself to others or comparing myself to different streamers. Like obviously streamers have influenced me and have given me kind of the goals, or like, kind of things that I want to achieve. But I never directly compare myself to others or directly compare myself to other streamers, just because like in my mind, my stream is like my baby. It's, it's a my baby. Like I have certain expectations and certain goals for it, and certain things that I hope to achieve is going to be the same, and not everybody's going to have the same luck or the same, community. Like I consider myself to be fairly lucky with the community that I've established in the last couple of months of streaming, and I'm extremely grateful for it. And I love every single person in my community, and I love that, people enjoy coming and watching and have had my stream impact them in a positive way. That's all I could really ever ask for. And going back to why I don't look at the leaderboards, it's because I essentially was getting at that I have my own goals kind of with the game and with streaming in general. Like it's not so much about being at the number one spot on the leaderboard. It's rather, I want to attain a specific time. Kind of the difference between me and, I'm assuming there are some other runners that really are on like the world record grind and really, want that world record. And I respect that entirely, but it just goes into the whole thing that every streamer has different goals, different expectations. For me, my main priority is my community, my growth, rather than necessarily my growth in my times of the games I play, or, necessarily what kind of content I'm putting out per se. Like I want to put out content I obviously like and what my stream obviously likes, but at the end of the day, if my stream's not happy with something, then that's the biggest red flag to me. That's the biggest, problem that I would need to address, rather than, oh, I can't get the 102 in Luigi's Mansion. It's so much bigger than just the game. And that's something that I've really come to realize starting, growing a community and that kind of thing. Like your community is your backbone. Without your community, your stream is nothing. Like your stream obviously is still fun for you, but the thing is, the real enjoyment that I get out of streaming is making others have fun and getting, the feedback from my community saying, Sam, we really like what you're doing. We really have fun here. We're really, being affected in a positive way. That's really like why I do it. I do it for the people. I do it to make a change in this world. I do it to be a positive person, because there aren't that many people out there that really want to do things like that in this world. Twitch is a great place. Twitch is a great platform. There are a lot of people that change and have a positive impact on this world. And that's why I love Twitch. But in the world surrounding Twitch, there aren't a lot of people that want to do things like that. They are out there, but it's great that Twitch, is kind of a platform where I can fulfill my goals of, being the best person that I can be and being the best person I can be for others, and creating a safe haven and kind of just a place for people to have, a good amount of positivity in their lives and just a good place to meet other people.
Yeah, so I like how you just dropped just a load of knowledge on everyone right now, because I'm hoping everyone's listening to what you just said, because I like what you said. You try not to focus too much on what other streamers are doing. It's basically like, hey, I'm in my own lane. Let me do what I need to do and build the audience, how I want to build it. And
absolutely.
And it's interesting too, because well, let me backtrack a little bit. So, going back to like Luigi mentioned, I did not know that game or the world record dropped down by that much, because the last time I heard, the world record was still like at 102, or 1 minute and 2 seconds, and 1 minute and 2 seconds. I'm just like, wow, I know, an hour and 2 minutes, and there we go, an hour and 2 minutes. But so it's crazy how much that dropped, and I'm sitting here wondering, like, how did someone get it down to 56 minutes? That's just crazy.
I'm not sure.
Like, oh man,
I'm convinced that some of the top runners are actually not human and they're wizards or something else. I honestly don't know how it works.
Yeah, it's insane. But so I mean, it's interesting too, because like with you, when you play Luigi Mansion, when you start getting your time down so low, it gets to a point to where it's like, okay, it gets harder for you. And I know that's how it is with other streamers. Like when they get their time down, or when their time becomes so accurate and they want to try to get it lower, it's basically saying, I cannot make any mistakes. Like
absolutely,
simple mistake, I'm done. Like for you, if you miss one ghost, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to certain parts of the game, there are definitely areas where you just cannot physically mess up. Like, my time has gotten to the point where there are certain areas now where if I do not play well, like, I cannot get a good time or a better time than I currently have. I still have a little bit of leeway just because my time isn't good as it could be. Like, according to some of the top runners, I've talked to a lot of the top runners at length about my time and kind of where I can improve. That's one thing that I really like about the Luigi's Mansion community, particularly, is how open and welcoming they are. And I think that also allows me to be open and welcoming too, because I was taken in with such open arms to the Luigi's Mansion community that I feel like I need to kind of that mentality, carry on that attitude, and be as open-armed as I can to other people that are not only in my stream, because I want to do that anyway. I love everybody that comes into my stream, and I want to make my stream the most open and friendly place that it can be, because that's exactly how I want it to be, and that's how my community wants it to be. But also, just in general, with people trying to learn the game, I've had a handful of people come about running this game, or, hey, I'm thinking about learning this game. Will you help me? And, I am very eager to help them and direct them in the right way and kind of give them tips or tricks. Like, even when I'm doing my runs, like if somebody comes in the stream and is like, hey, how do you do that? Like, I'll, explain it to the best of my ability and try and work them through it. and answer questions whenever I can. And I think that's just what's really awesome about the Luigi's Mansion community in particular. I also decided to run Luigi's Mansion. I mean, it at first was just, I really like this game. I think I can run it. I learned it, and I have to learn the new route, but I have like a rough idea. But kind of similar to how streaming works, like you go for the game, but you stay for the community. It's kind of that similar mentality. Like I kind of joined the Luigi's Mansion community for the game, but then I got to know the runners and got to know everybody else who watches the speed runs, and you stay for the community. You stay a part of that community because they're such great people. And the whole thing behind streaming too, like people come into your stream because they come in because of whatever you're playing or your content, but then they stay because of you or because of your community. How, at least from what I've experienced, that's kind of my understanding of how streams kind of grow exponentially and kind of have this constant slope of growth.
Yeah, and like one of the other things that you mentioned was so going forward, when we was talking about how you want to be in your own lane and not compare yourself to other streamers, and then at the same time, when it comes to your community, you also said that you also have to be mindful of the things that they want to see, because I'm pretty positive where a lot of people who are wondering why their stream isn't, or why their channel isn't growing, because they're probably not playing the games that people want to see. But I also believe that just say for you, for instance, you speedrun Luigi Mansion, you will have people out there that loves watching Luigi Mansion. And then if they just say, for instance, like your viewers who love watching you, they're going to go tell other people like, hey, I watched this guy by the name of TheSammyB. He speedrun Luigi Mansion. His stream is really awesome. If you come in there, he'll know if you're new. He'll ask you how you doing, things like that. He'll make you feel welcome. And
absolutely,
yeah, I feel like that's definitely one of the contributing factors that helps build a stream. But then at the same time, you also have to be mindful of what others want to see it too, because if you don't really I guess go with what they want, then your stream probably won't grow more than you want it to, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely a factor to what you play. And yeah, of course, like I said, I always make it my goal to make sure that everybody in my stream feels welcome. Like that's like literally like priority number one on my list. Like if I like had a list to write out, like everything about like my community and my viewers and my chat and just everybody that contributes to my stream and hangs out, like they're like at the top. And then like as you kind of go down the list, it kind of goes into, okay, well, what's the content? Like what's the like what games are we playing? Like, is it stuff that they want to see? Like, everything is obviously a factor when you stream. And it is important to stay in your own lane and kind of focus on you, because if you compare yourself to others, that's just not good, regardless of what you do in life. Like, regardless of if it's streaming or if it's like, something that's going on in, like the outside world, whether it's like, you're trying to become a professional streamer or you're trying to become a photographer or, a businessman, like just comparing yourself to others is never really good, because everybody has a different experience and a different path and a different way of getting to where they want to be. And the content, like I said, that I play does play a role. Like, obviously, in order to have successful streams, you have to be enjoying it. If you're in it for the right reasons and you're enjoying it, then that's how you have a successful stream. And that is somewhat reflected on content, mindful of the content that you play. But I truly do believe that if you are the right kind of streamer, and if you do have a community behind you and can, establish yourself, that you can play essentially almost any game, regardless of what your community's opinion on that game is. Just because, again, like it goes into the whole thing, your community that watches your stream watches for you and for the other members of the community, and watches to be able to interact with their friends and that kind of thing, rather than the game. Like as crazy as it sounds, the game almost becomes like white noise in a way. Like it's kind of just more of a talking point, and it kind of is just something that's happening in the background, or at least, again, that's what I've noticed. It's a focus for some people, but I would definitely say that playing a game that get like people interested is a great way to grow your stream. Like starting out, like you need a good like baseline backbone kind of thing. Like Luigi's Mansion was a very happy medium for me, and didn't like the game. Like, you definitely have to like the first game that you ever stream. I mean, you need to like all the games that you stream. I shouldn't say
Right.
first. You need to like all the games that you stream, but you definitely really need to have the drive and the passion for whatever game you pick, backbone for your stream, because that's what's going to kind of get you that first little jump of, you know, people coming into your stream. Like, Luigi's Mansion was a happy medium for me because not only was it a relatively popular speed game, and it was a game that arguably is one of my favorites ever. Like, it's definitely in my top 5. I love that game to death.
Yeah.
The amount of people that watch the game is a relatively good number. It's a good audience, and there isn't a huge market for that game. You know, streams aren't extremely saturated. It's not like streaming a game like PUBG or, you know, League or anything like that, where there's just, you know, hundreds of people streaming it. Like, I'll sometimes stream Luigi's Mansion and I'll be the only person streaming it, and then there'll be times where I'll stream it and there'll be 10 people streaming it. But still, just the fact that the audience is there, and the audience that's looking for the game can see you no matter where you're at, whether you're starting out or if you have, you know, a ton of viewers. Like, there's still a way for you to get discovered, and that's like really incredible. I mean, there are ways to get discovered by playing games that are more popular and things like that, but it's just a lot harder when you don't have a person that's clicking that game seeing your stream as well. You know, they'd have to scroll and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a nice happy medium, and I've heard from other streamers as well, and that is true for me as well, that you need to find a game that is like that happy medium. You need to find a game that you like, that you know you can play well and that you enjoy, but a game that's not super saturated and not really, really dense, where you're going to have a hard time, you know, kind of breaking out and kind of setting yourself apart from however many other streamers are doing it. Like it's all about just doing everything I can to make my community the most welcoming place that it can be and setting myself apart. Like, one of the things that I've done in particular that I haven't really seen a lot of other streamers do, or actually I can't think of any streamers, but I obviously have not seen every streamer on Twitch. So there might be another streamer out there. I have my message of the month, and I'm sure you've watched my stream. I'm sure you've seen it before. I change it every month. It's just something that kind of is unique to me and unique to my stream, because a little element that kind of, you know, I guess sets me apart. People come into the stream and they see the game, they see me, they see my splits and that kind of stuff. And then they see the message of the month, and, you know, they read it, because when people are looking at a screen, you know, their eyes are going to move around the screen. That's how it works. I was a media student, so I kind of know how people's eyes like to see everything. Eventually they'll get there and they'll say, wow, like, you know, that message is really interesting. Like, and it gets them thinking. Like, the biggest thing for me is to get people thinking, to get people engaged, to get people to feel like they're welcome. Because if you're not engaging and you're not, you know, welcoming, then people aren't going to connect with you on a personal level. And that's how all these streamers that establish these big communities, I think, really get those big communities. I mean, some of them it is related to their gameplay and what they're playing, but a big factor of it is just being personable and being relatable, being likable, being in a position where people really feel like they can relate to them and feel like they can talk to them and that kind of thing. And that's kind of just the direction that I feel like that my stream is going in. And that's the direction I like to have it in, where people feel like they can come to me and talk to me about things and feel like they can, you know, really get to know me and get to know others in the community. And just having that solid community is really a big priority for me. And I think it's a big priority for other streamers. Twitch is a platform from YouTube and other kind of social media platforms. It's not necessarily a numbers game. It's really a quality game. Like, it doesn't matter how many viewers you have, how many followers you have, how many views you have in general. It's all about who's committed to you, who believes in whatever it is that you're doing, and who same kind of like love and passion and drive that you have for, you know, whatever it is that you're doing on Twitch. Like, it's all kind of driven by quality rather than the quantity of actually, you know, a number. Like, people aren't just numbers on Twitch. Like, you know, my viewers aren't numbers. Like, they're people. Like, there's Limp. Like, there are people, and there's you, Highly, and there's like, they have names. And that's what's so cool about Twitch, is that regardless of how big you get as a streamer, those people that you actually know and that you actually have really gotten to know as your platform has grown, people that come in that you don't know, you get to know them. Whereas with YouTube, you're kind of almost like disconnected in a way. Like there's not that same personable interaction between the two groups of people, the content creator and the community. And that's something that really, really, really makes Twitch an amazing thing and makes me very happy to be a part of it. And also just makes me happy that I can have that relationship with my community, with my chat, with my viewers. Really an incredible and intangible or untangible thing. Like it's just really crazy to think about, and it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and just listen to you. You could, I mean, if like for the viewers that's listening right now, or will be listening, I say it that way. They could definitely see how passionate you are when it comes to your channel, and just you just try to make your channel as best as it could be.
Absolutely.
I feel like one of the things that I think takes people down the wrong path when it comes to Twitch is, sometimes they may come across a streamer that's, getting so many donations, and it's just like, wow, I want to do something like that, get a bunch of donations, make so much money off of Twitch. But, it's like if you're coming in there with that mindset, you're not gonna make it, because then you're basically gonna sit there like, okay, I need to get viewers. Then once I get viewers, I could probably get crazy donations and things like that. But that's not how it goes. It basically goes, they always say for anything, whether it's a job or whether it's video games, whatever you do, it has to be a passion. If you enjoy it, they always say benefits will come, later on. But,
absolutely.
That shouldn't be like your main focus when it comes to, I want to say, playing video games, coming on Twitch, because, I just feel like if you have that mindset, you're basically just set up for failure.
I mean, like there always is that, like, small percentage of people that do it for necessarily not the most correct or proper or right reasons that do make it. And that's just kind of the way that life is. There are always people that are going to be, doing things not necessarily for the best reasons or for the right reasons that will make it. And that does happen. But I would definitely agree with you in saying that the majority of the people that do go in with the go into something for the wrong reasons or with the wrong expectations and that kind of thing will not succeed. And there are a lot of people that probably do come into about the money aspect and, kind of how they could turn something into, business and kind of make their living off of it. And like, for me personally, that's something that is obviously like something that's crossed my mind. That's something that, I think about just because like it's something that could happen later down the road. While it's not my main priority and something I do not think about very often, it is something that is there. And I think it would be very ungenuine or ingenuine of me to say that I never think about the aspect of my stream potentially becoming something that I could be doing full time and supporting myself with. But that's not my main focus. My main focus for my stream in particular is to grow a platform of great people and to put out great content for those great people and to make it a welcoming and fun environment for everybody, including myself. Mm-hmm. So, use that platform for good. Something that I'm very passionate about is charity. And if I were to ever get to the point where I could dedicate all of my time to my stream, where I am doing it full time and able to support myself, I would definitely have a lot of initiatives to, be a part of some kind of charitable organization or, do things for charity very frequently, because that's important. Giving back is a very important thing in this world. And a lot of people, I feel like, don't give back as much as they should. And, they have their reasons. But for me personally, I know that if I was blessed enough to do something where I could be passionate about it, have fun with it, and be able to support myself, I would do everything in my power to give back as much as I could to people in need, to people in the community, to people that really, really need that kind of support. I mean, when I hit 100 followers, I did a giveaway, and I had somebody actually come into my stream and question me and say, well, why are you doing a giveaway? 100 followers is nothing. And I said, it's all about perspective. Yeah. 100 followers to me is like an incredible, incredible achievement. And I want to make sure that I give back to my community and show them that I'm grateful for all that they've done for me, because I truly am. I mean, it's not even so much a numbers thing. It's just the fact that there are people that are there that want to watch, like whether it's one person or a million people, just the fact that there are people that are into my stream and into hanging out with me and talking to me and getting to know me is absolutely incredible. I've had come in and just say all these incredible things and give me like positive reinforcement and just say like, I really believe in you, or you really, have a good impact on my life. You've made my day better. I had a bad day today, and, watching your stream really cheered me up. I had one person in particular, like this is going to probably sit with me the rest of my life. I had a person come into my stream. I don't know if you're going to be familiar with them or not. Some of you might be watching, might be familiar with this person, or you might actually be this person. Mm-hmm. But I had somebody come into my stream, and they typed in chat for the first time, and I welcomed them to the stream like I normally do. And they said, well, actually, we've been watching your stream for a couple of months. My wife is pregnant, and she's 9 months pregnant. And when she can't sleep, we watch your stream, and it really makes her feel better.
Oh, wow.
I was really, really I was shocked. I never had thought that my stream would have that kind of impact on somebody and be something where people it as a way of like coping with something or helping them with a situation. I mean, I'm not a woman. I don't know what pregnancy is like. I do not have any children. I'm way too young to have children, but I do know that it is a relatively unpleasant experience when you're 9 months pregnant and you're like about to have a baby. So the fact that I can make that experience at least a little bit better for them is absolutely incredible. And they actually came into my stream not too long ago. We're in November, so this was a couple of weeks ago, and they told me that, they had their baby and that the baby was healthy and that everything was good. And it just really touched my heart, and it just really gave me a different perspective of streaming. Like, I will say that my perspective on streaming has changed since I've done it. There were definitely things that I thought about and things that I thought I knew going into it, but now actually doing it and living it, there are different things that kind of don't make sense. Like, there were definitely expectations I had that were not necessarily fulfilled, but not necessarily in a bad way. And it's just because with streaming, I feel like you truly don't understand it unless you're hearing about it from somebody who's actually been doing it. And that's why I think your podcast in general is actually a very good, people are going to get to hear what goes on in a streamer's mind, what the streamers kind of are doing, what they're thinking about. Because a lot of the time on the surface, it doesn't seem as deep as it is. Like, I consider myself to be relatively transparent with my stream. I talk to my stream about just about everything that's going on in my life. Unless it's something extremely personal that's not really relevant, then, that's something that I might kind of keep to myself. But for the most part, if it's anything involving me or, the stream or my life or the community, like I said, unless it involves like another family member or something that like, that wouldn't be really relevant or pertain to my stream, I kind of keep that private because I feel like I owe myself at least that much privacy. But I do like to be transparent with my stream. My stream is aware of, my situation and kind of why I'm even streaming in the first place. And I like to communicate with them because I feel like they, open up to me. So it's only fair that I open up to them and, create, a real relationship with them. Like, and that goes into, again, like some streamers, I feel like they kind of come off that they care about their community and that they, really want to build relationships with the community. But there's always kind of like a fine line. There's like a little asterisk to it. Not all streamers by any means, but there are definitely some, and that goes into, again, like the streamers that are necessarily not doing it for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. Come off as that come off in a way that they want to, build relationships, but in reality, it's kind of a lot more something else. But for me, like I said, like that's why I open up to you guys. That's why I open up to the stream. That's why I'm on this podcast, because I really want my stream and I want everybody to know that it is really about creating those relationships, getting to know people. Gotten to know so many streamers, by watching them, and like they know almost nothing about me because I'm a filthy lurker. I don't like talk in chat. I talk in chat now a lot more than I used to when I first started streaming or watching on Twitch. But now that I'm a streamer, I feel a lot more comfortable with it because I've been able to kind of interact with people, and like it's gotten me kind of out of my shell in a way. But just the fact that there are streamers that are so open about what's going on in their life, like that really motivates me to be open as well, because my stream deserves it. My community deserves it. They're open about what's going on in their lives. Like I could tell you a million different things that are going on in people's lives. I know all sorts of things. I've had people, tell me things like, over, private messages and things like that as well. And it's just really incredible because like I'm getting to know people. Like I say it all the time, like slowly, like I'm developing these friendships with people that I've never even met in person, but I feel like I've known them forever. Like, it's crazy. Like, especially when it comes to my moderators and people that I, have assigned, a role to kind of help contribute to the stream. Like, I've really gotten to know some of them on a personal level just because, they're in the stream a lot more frequently. And, I'm talking to them about, things that are going on with the stream, and that sparks up more conversation. And all of a sudden, I've been talking to them for an hour, and then, I kind of get to hear more. But just like I said, in my stream in general, I feel like the people that want to be heard are absolutely heard. And that's the most important thing to me, because I would never want my stream to be to a point where I wouldn't be able to hear what people have to say and wouldn't be able to get to know people on the level that I get to know them now. And I mean, with growth, obviously it's going to have to be modified in some way so that I can still maintain that. Because I mean, if my stream got to the point where there would be chat that I couldn't read fast enough or things like that, I'd have to figure out some kind of way to,
right.
But that is definitely something that I will address if it happens. I'm not thinking that far ahead right now. I'm just thinking about what's going on in everybody's life and what's been said to me, how that's going to kind of play into tonight's stream, because I am streaming tonight. So, I definitely get my stream mentality, and I definitely, my viewers, like, I don't even know if I think I've talked about this before on my stream, and now I've just gotten into rambling, but I definitely think about my viewers and the people in my community when I'm not streaming. Like, I'll like be doing something in a part of my life outside of the stream, and like immediately like something will be like, oh, that makes me think of this person, or oh, that makes me think of that person. Oh, I wonder, like, told me that they were going through this thing. They said that it was getting better. Like I'll just like, it's wild to me how like there's this overlap, and I never thought that there would be. My day to day, like even when I'm not streaming, like the stream is still a part of my life, and I think that's just really cool. And I feel like a lot of streamers have something like that happen to them as well. Incredible thing. Like I honestly don't know what it even is, but it's incredible.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, from what you just said, like when it comes to streaming and like the people that come into your chat, like you could do so much more for people. Like just say, for instance, like the married couple, the lady that's having the baby, like she watched your stream because it relaxed her. I mean, I guess people take out content like what they can actually bring to people. I mean, how far you can actually reach out and touch someone, how you can really like just motivate people to actually do things that they want to do. And I thought that story was just like really touching. I was like, man, that's interesting. Like I didn't really think of it that way, but since you brought that up, I was like, man, that's really cool. And I mean, I'm just hoping that everyone that listens to this podcast, I mean, you really drop, probably definitely one of the best knowledge out there for people just to understand and just to, hopefully take in consideration if they do plan on streaming in the future. Before we end this episode, I just want to ask, like, what's your stream time? That way, people who wants to watch you.
Of course, yeah. I can definitely stream time, at least at the time of like making this podcast. It's Sunday through Friday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is usually the start time, and then on Saturdays I stream actually in the morning around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you don't see me live on a certain day, I usually take like one day off a week, but that day is not really defined just because it plays into whatever's going on. And like if I have like, an appointment or I have, something going on, then I'll just take off a day. But usually you'll see me live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every night of the week, except Saturdays when I stream early. So definitely. But if you haven't, I promise I don't bite. Okay, maybe I bite a little bit, but it's not bad. It's not bad, I promise.
If he does bite, it's not harmless. He will welcome you with open arms. And for those who want to find him, the spell out his name is TheSammyB. That's TheSammyB. Definitely check out his Twitch channel. I mean, it's amazing, and I'm pretty sure everyone that goes there will definitely have a good time. And well, I mean, I believe that wraps up this episode of the Streampreneur Podcast. Yo, Sammy, I appreciate you again for coming in and
Of course. It's my
definitely
pleasure.
and definitely dropped some really good knowledge. So hopefully, I hope this bring viewers your way. Hope people just like, oh hey, I heard you on the Streampreneur Podcast. If I ever see that, I'll be happy too. I'm like, oh, they listen to it and they coming to you. So thank you again, man. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Of course. Yeah, if any of you guys did see this, definitely let me know in my stream if you're like from this podcast or if you saw the podcast. Like I'm probably going to talk about it in my stream tonight and I'll probably talk about it for a while, but yeah, definitely let me know if you're from the podcast. Also, before we do end this, I do want to just say, like, if you are somebody who is thinking about streaming, if you have that drive and that passion and you really feel it inside of you and you really want to do it, go for it. Like, I know there are a lot of factors in life that kind of distract you, but for me, I've always wanted to do this. And now that I've finally done it, I could not be more happier. I could not be more blessed and not be at more bliss than I am right now. Like it's really an incredible thing. And if it's something that you want to get involved in, reach out, try and get involved. You can reach out to me. Like if you're somebody who wants to start streaming, send me a message on Discord, send me a message on Twitch, send me a message, contact me however way you or whatever way you can be to like give you any insight. Like you just really have to believe and work hard and be diligent and be passionate and you will succeed. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, for me personally, I feel like I have been a bit lucky with how my stream has gone because with anything in life, there's always a little bit of luck involved. And with something like streaming, there's always going to be luck. You know, you have to be doing something at the right time. But if you're persistent, consistent, and are determined and really have a passion and really for the
Hmm.
right reasons, you want to do it because you love it. You want to do it for the community. You want to do it to be the best person that you can be, then get involved. Don't be afraid to get involved. This podcast, I think, is kind of about that in a way of just seeing, how, there are streamers that are out there and they're are just, I mean, we're normal people. Like I'm a normal person. Like I do things besides stream. I was a student.
Hmm.
I'm just another person. Like, and I know it seems really weird for a lot of people. Like when you are watching somebody who's streaming, like it almost kind of doesn't feel like they're a real person because you see them behind the screen. But I promise you, like I'm not a robot. I'm a real person. Everybody is a real person, and we're all in this together. We're all trying to just do what we love and be the best people that we can be. So if you want to do that, you think that kind of sounds like you, get involved with streaming. It's a really fun experience and of things you learn about yourself and about others, and it's just really an awesome thing. And I appreciate being on this podcast. I appreciate being able to share this message with you guys, and I appreciate anyone that's ever come into my stream and given me the feelings that I have about streaming. Like I've always loved it and I've always really been into it, and now that I'm doing it, you guys are making me fall in love with it more. You're going to make me never want to leave my house. Going to keep me in my house all day because I want to stream. But like I said, just really work hard, believe in yourself, and keep at it. And if you wanna stream, do it. It'll be fun. You can do it at any capacity. I mean, you work with what you have, like, and you can kind of build up. Like, you're not necessarily going to have the best equipment or the best, kind of way of doing whatever it is that you want to stream. But if you try, you can work up to it. You can build your platform and build yourself and build your community. It's all just a matter of persistence and consistency and determination, and the rest kind of falls into place. So that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to kind of leave you guys with that little bit of insight because that's something that I definitely uh, would have wished that I would have like been told starting out.
Hmm.
And while I had a similar mentality, there are just definitely a lot of people out there that I'm sure kind of don't really know where to start, how to do it. The best thing I can say is to just do it. Like you just have to start. Like I know hitting that live button's really weird. I know it's going to sound weird that
Hmm.
everybody can literally see you in the world. Like anybody that has access to the internet can watch you, but you just kind of have to go for it, and you just gotta not really think about that. You got to think of it as an opportunity to interact with all these amazing people in this world, like all the amazing people that can come into your stream and interact with you, and you can have a positive impact on them. So I know it seems scary, but I was scared too. even now, it's still a little bit weird to think about if I try and think about it. So that's why I don't think about it. And you just got to believe in yourself and you got to do it. So I believe in you. I hope that helped. And I hope you really enjoyed listening to what I had to say about, my experiences with streaming and kind of what I do and what my mentality towards it is and kind of where I see in the future and kind of, how it is right now.
See, I know I'm enjoying it. I mean, I enjoyed everything from this podcast episode that we just did, and I'm hoping that everyone else does too. I mean, you just heard it from him, everyone. Be sure just to check him out. He dropped everything that you need to know how to start streaming, what you need in order to become a successful streamer, how to build your audience. So please make sure to check out his channel. He's definitely, one of a kind guy. So please do. I'm probably gonna put some claps in this podcast somewhere. That way, it's like an audience, like just clapping for you, Sammy. And, and like at the beginning of my podcast, since you speedrun Luigi Mansion, I'm gonna put like a Luigi Mansion theme at the beginning. 'Cause I want to do it to where like whoever I interview, they have some kind of like, it's kind of like the podcast kind of revolve around that person. So I probably like put like Luigi Mansion sound effects. Yes. That way it sounds actually, it makes it sound interesting in a way.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear this podcast when it is like officially like, uploaded and whatnot. Like I'm definitely gonna, post it all over my channel and whatnot, because I definitely want people in the community to hear it, because it's just another way for them to kind of hear what's going on about.
I appreciate it.
Hear what I'm thinking about. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is that people have is going to be different. Like, you're not necessarily going to have the same kind of patterns as others, but like enjoying it and you're in it, like for the right reasons, and you're doing it for your community, for yourself, then you're doing it right. Like, it doesn't have to be super black and white and it's like, okay, well, I got this many viewers this day and I got this many, so like then it'll kind of continue that way. Like, you never know what's going to happen. I've had streams where I've had 2 viewers, and I've had streams where I've had 20 viewers. Like, it's really a huge disparity. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. People come and go, and people have things going on in their outside world and outside life, and it's not always going to be super black and white, and a lot of things in life aren't. But as long as you're having fun and enjoying it and you feel like you're making a positive impact, then I think you shouldn't give up. You shouldn't give in. You just got to keep on grinding, and eventually things fall into place.
Yeah, just got to keep on going. That's the best thing to do. All right.
Absolutely.
So I think that wraps up today's episode. Thanks again, Sammy. I'm gonna try to have this up I'm gonna try to get up by today on my website, and then I'll definitely send you over the link. That way we could get.
Please do. Just send it over Discord or Twitch or whatever, and I will absolutely pass it around. I'm excited about this, but yeah, it was a pleasure being here. I really appreciate it, and I'm really happy that I could have the opportunity to do this. Like, when you mentioned this opportunity to me, I was very ecstatic and very excited to share with people, because all I do is share. Like, when I stream, I share. So this is just another way for me to share more with everybody, with you, and that's just really awesome. So I'm glad to be a part of it, and I'm really honored to be on this podcast and get to talk to you.
Man, I appreciate you just taking out the time. So thank you again for everyone for checking out the Streampreneur Podcast episode number 2. Be sure to check out his channel, TheSammyB. I'll definitely have his link in my description on my website at streampreneurs.com. Please come by, please leave a comment, and please go by and check out his channel, because he's a really cool guy. This is Jeffrey Harden, sign out. Until next time.